You ever have one of those moments where you stand there, soaking wet, watching the disaster unfold in front of you, and you realize you're done playing nice? I was knee-deep in filthy floodwater, my hands trembling with fury, as I stared at Karen's smug face peeking out from behind her curtain like she was proud of what she'd done. The pumps weren't humming, no, they were dead silent, because once again, that woman had cut the power line feeding my flood pumps. And that's the moment I knew I wasn't just going to fix this, I was going to end this. Our little neighborhood backs right up against a marsh, pretty when it's dry, a nightmare when it rains. And in our part of Louisiana, it rains like the sky's got a grudge. I'm a contractor by trade, built my home high, smart, with a flood pump setup that'd make the Army Corps of Engineers nod in approval. I'm not some city boy who moved in and started barking orders. I grew up here. I know these waters. My wife, my kids, my old dog Hank, we built a life on this patch of land. But 2 years ago, Karen bought the house 2 doors down. Retired executive, fresh out of Atlanta. And boy did she come in hot. HOA board member within 6 months. Newsletter editor, self-appointed rule enforcer. You know the type. At first, it was little things. She griped about my work truck parked on my own damn driveway, said it ruined the aesthetic. Sent me letters about my garden beds too wild. Then one wet season, the marsh spilled over, and I fired up my pumps to keep the water off my lot. That night, my pumps went dead. I thought it was just the storm until I saw the clean cut on the power line the next morning. I patched it up, gritted my teeth, and told myself maybe it was just a freak accident. But it wasn't. Next storm, same thing, power cut, pumps off, water rising. Only this time, I caught a glimpse of someone in a raincoat darting back toward her yard, and who else would it be? She had this twisted logic that my pumps drained water onto common land, and she didn't want it directed at her property. Never mind that the pumps kept the whole damn block safer. No. Karen decided she knew better than hydrology and common sense. The third time she cut those lines, I confronted her, and I swear, she looked me dead in the eye and said I had no right to endanger the ecosystem. Like I was the villain here. And then she doubled down. She started writing up violations, fake ones, claimed my setup was unapproved construction. Had the HOA send me fines. She even went on Nextdoor, posting that I was flooding neighbors on purpose to protect my own house. I was livid. But here's the thing, she didn't realize she'd poked the wrong bear. That's when Mark stepped in. Mark's this older guy, lives across the street, quiet fella, Vietnam vet, used to work power grids. I never knew much about him, but after the third sabotage, he came over one evening with a beer and a plan. Said he'd seen her out there, said he'd had enough of her crap too. He helped me set up trail cams, hidden, waterproof, motion activated, all pointed at the lines, the pumps, the spots she snuck through. And he gave me a name, a buddy of his who worked with the parish flood authority. You're gonna need backup when this blows up, he said, and damn if he wasn't right. Sure enough, next storm she pulled the same stunt, but this time, I had her on tape. Clear as day, raincoat and all, snipping the line like she was pruning a rose bush. I sent that footage to the HOA board, to the sheriff's office, and to the parish. But Karen wasn't done yet, oh no. She started telling people I'd doctored the footage, said I was staging incidents to harass her, that I had some vendetta. She spread it like wildfire at the coffee shop, on Facebook, at HOA meetings. A few folks bought it. Some didn't. But I wasn't waiting for public opinion to swing my way. I had work to do. Next storm, I didn't just fix the pumps. I called in Substation trucks, big industrial rigs from a buddy's contracting firm. Legal, permitted, above board. We parked them right on my lot, and those beasts powered up a system that could have drained a damn lake. The water started to drop on my side and rise fast on hers. See, without my pumps working the right way before, the overflow had always gone where it naturally wanted, out to the marsh. But now, with the big rigs in play, the system worked as designed. And that meant all that water Karen thought she was blocking, it pooled right where her lot dipped down, right where she'd torn up her yard trying to improve drainage without a permit. I watched from my porch as the water climbed over her flower beds, lapped at her patio, and turned her manicured yard into a swamp. She came running out, barefoot, screaming about how I was flooding her on purpose. But here's the kicker, the sheriff's deputy rolled up just as she was losing it, because I'd called them ahead of time. He took one look, checked the footage, the permits, the setup, and told her plain as day that she was lucky I hadn't pressed charges for tampering with critical infrastructure. told her to stay off my property, or next time she'd be in cuffs. I've never seen a woman look so furious and so defeated all at once. The next few days, Karen tried to rally support, tried to get the HOA to go after me for harassment. But the board saw the footage. The sheriff's report backed me. Even the parish flood folks came out and shook my hand, said I'd probably save the block from a bigger mess. Her yard stayed a muddy mess for weeks, and you bet your ass I kept the pumps running every storm after that. Karen? She stopped snipping wires. Stopped talking to me, too, which suited me just fine. Thing is, sometimes I sit on my porch after a storm, watching the water drain away, and I wonder, was there a better way to handle it? Could I have gotten through to her before it came to this showdown? Or was she always going to be the kind of person who had to learn the hard way? I don't know. What would you have done? Let me know what side you're on, and thanks for hearing me out.